Hi friends, this is Dheeraj Kumar, and in this video we are going to see that how you can create SQL database on Windows Azure and how you can manage that database by using SQL Server Management Studio. So let's see how we can create the database first of all. First of all, you have to open the Windows Azure Management Portal in your browser, as you can see on your screen. After opening the Windows Azure Management Portal, you have to click on SQL Databases. When you click on this SQL Databases, this page will appear on your screen, and here you can click on Create SQL Database. For creating a new database, either you can click on this option or also you can click on the New button that is available on the bottom of the page. Since right now there is no SQL database exist on my portal, that's why it is showing here you have no SQL database, and it is also showing a create SQL database option here. But in case if you have already created any database, then in that case it will not show you this option. So then you can go to the new option from here and you can create the database. So let's click on this create SQL database. When you click on this option, it will open this pop-up window where you can just add the name of your database, whatever you would like to take. So for example, I'm going to take the name here Blue Yonders. So Blue Yonders is the name of the database I would like to take here. After taking a name, you have to give the name of the server on which database server you would like to create your database. As you can see that right now it is not showing any database server name, but it is showing one option here, New SQL Database Server. Whenever you are creating your SQL database on Windows Azure, you require one database server. And for creating a database server, either you can click on this option and automatically it will add one more step here, and then you can create the database server while creating a database. Or also, before creating a database, you can create the server. If you want to create a database server before creating a database, for this option, you can go to servers. And in the servers, you have one option, create SQL database server. When you click on this option, it will open this pop-up screen where you can enter the login name and the password for the database. So either you can create the database server before creating a database or while creating a database as well. So we are creating a database server while creating a database, and for this, first of all, we are giving a name of the database. Then we are going to click on New SQL Database Server. The moment I select this option, automatically it will add one more step, as you can see here, and then you can click on Next. When you click on Next, it will show you this screen, as you can see, where you have to enter the login name and the password, whatever you would like to take. So for example, I would like to take the login name as Dheeraj, and the password also I'm going to enter here. Whatever you want to take, you can take it here. So remember this thing, that this login name and password you require while managing this database from SQL Server Management Studio. Now once you give this information, you can click on OK. So when you click on this complete button, you can see that the status, it is right now showing creating. That means the process of creating this database is now started, and it is in the process right now. So first of all, it will create the server. Right now it is showing new server here because it has not yet created the server. It is still under process. If you want to see, you can see it here. So you can see it is showing here submitting the request to create database Blue Yonders. So that means it is under process, and once it creates this database, it will show you here the status as online. So once you get the online status, that indicates that your database is now created. So you have to wait for some time. It will take few seconds only, and you can see that now the server is created. And after creating a server, it will create the database also. So the request is now successfully submitted to create standard database Blue Yonders on server this. So this is the name of the server actually. it will automatically take the name of the server on your Windows Azure. So we don't have to give this name. By default, automatically it will take some random name, and this particular name we have to use while managing this database from Management Studio. So creating a database on Windows Azure is really very simple, and we can very easily create the database on Windows Azure. And once you create this database, then you can connect this with your SQL Server Management Studio, and you can manage it as you are managing your local databases. So that's how you can create the database. Now you can see that you got the status online. Once you get the status online, this indicates that your database is now ready to use. So let's see how we can access this database from SQL Server Management Studio. First of all, you require the server name of this database. And in order to get the name of this server, you can simply click on this database name. When you click on this database name, it will open up this page where you will see that server. From here, you can just copy the server name. This is the server name that I am highlighting over here. So you simply have to copy this server name from here. Once you copy the server name, now you can go to your SQL Server Management Studio, and from there you can manage this database. So let's open the SQL Server Management Studio now. So you can see that we have opened the SQL Server Management Studio, and I'm using SQL Server 2012. In the server name, you have to mention the server name that you have just copied from the Windows Azure. And in the login name, you have to mention the same login that you have mentioned at the time of creating the database server. So at that time, we have mentioned the login name as Dheeraj, and also I am entering a password which I have entered at the time of creating a database server. Once you give this information, now you can click on connect. When you click on connect, it will try to connect up with the database server that you have created on Windows Azure. But as you can see that it is not able to connect up with that server. It is showing one error, cannot open server. This is the server name requested by the login. Client with IP address. This is the IP address of your system. Means right now it is showing the IP address of my system. And it is showing the IP address of my system right now, and it is saying that this IP address is not allowed to access the server. To enable access, use the Windows Azure Management Portal or run spset firewall rule on the master database to create a firewall rule for this IP address. This means that by default, nobody will be able to access this database from anywhere, because there are some firewall rules are applied on this database server. First of all, you have to add this IP address in the firewall rule of the server. Then only we can access this database from this SQL Server Management Studio. So what we have to do, again we have to go to Windows Azure Management Portal, and there we need to set the firewall rules. So let's go to the Windows Azure Management Portal once again, and here we will click on the dashboard. So right now I am on the same page where I have created the database, and I'm going to the dashboard. When we click on the dashboard, this page will appear, and here I can go to manage allowed IP addresses. In order to set the firewall rules for your IP addresses, you can go to this option. When you click on this manage allowed IP address, it will open this page where you need to set the firewall rule. So by default, automatically it is showing the IP address of my system. If I want to allow my database, if I want that I can access this database from this particular IP address, then I can add this IP address by clicking on this button. Or also I can create a new rule if I want that anybody should be able to access my database. So let me create a rule here, because I want that anybody should be able to access this database from anywhere. And for that, what we can do, we can simply write the IP address range, As we all know that whatever IP addresses we have, these all IP addresses are in this range only. So actually I have entered the range of IP address. This is the starting range and this is the ending range. Based upon your requirement, you can add any IP address range according to your organization or according to your requirement. Whatever IP address range you will specify here, only those IP addresses will be able to access your database. So once you set your IP address range, now you can click on save. So let's click on save button, and when we click on this save button, you can see that it is saving the changes, and now the changes are saved. After saving all these changes, now let's go back again on the SQL Server Management Studio and let's see that now are we able to access the database or not. So again I'm going to that SQL Server Management Studio, and we have already mentioned the server name, login name and password. Let's try to connect up. So I'm clicking on this connect button. Yes, this time I'm able to connect up. So you can see that I'm logged in and it is showing that database server name here. Now in this database server, I have one database that I have created, and the name of that database was Blue Yonders. So here it is showing the name of the database, and this database you have created on Windows Azure. Now remember this thing, that this is your Windows Azure SQL database, and you can manage this database from your SQL Server Management Studio. Now this database you can manage in the same way as you manage your local databases. If you would like to create a new table, you can simply go to the new query, and then you can write down the queries which you generally write for your another databases. So let's say if you want to create a new table in this database, so you can simply write create table statement. If you would like to insert a new record, you can write an insert query. So from here you can manage this database as you manage your another databases. So for just an example, I'm going to create one table. Let's say create table students, and I'm going to create some columns here. Let's say roll number, and it must be int, and I'm going to take it as a primary key, and after that I'm going to write one more column, and I'm taking it as a varchar, and then I'm taking again marks, and this I'm taking as int. So this is a very simple table I have created. Now I'm going to just execute this. When I execute this, you can see it is showing command completed successfully. So that means now the table is created successfully in this Azure database. And if you would like to see this table, you can write your simple query, select star from students. So you can see this table is created. Right now there is no record in this table. If you would like to add any record in this table, you can simply write down your insert query. So you have seen that how you can create your SQL database on Windows Azure, and how you can manage that database by using your SQL Server Management Studio. I hope that you have understood all these concepts. Thank you so much. Goodbye.